Oh, Merry Christmas. So my quote, maybe Christmas, the Grinch thought, doesn't come from a store. That's of course, by Dr. Seuss. So I was reading this book, and I came across a story telling about the first lighted Christmas tree. And as I read it, I was amazed to find out that not only had they lit up the tree with red, white, and blue lights and bulbs, it also rotated. As you can see behind me, ours rotates, and one of my most favorite things about decorating for the Christmas season. So I believe probably most of you know that Thomas Edison invented the modern day electric light bulb back in 1879. So before this, it was mainly, we used torches, oil lamps, candles, firelight, and then modern cities used gas lamps. It was very sentimental to place lighted candles on the tree, but what a huge fire risk. And it resulted in many home fires due to this tradition. But the story I encountered, the first electrical lighted Christmas tree, was written by a Detroit Post reporter in 1882 in his meeting with a friend of Edison's, Mr. Edward Johnson, a wealthy homeowner who had strung the red and white and blue bulbs and included a small electric motor under the floor to rotate the tree and its illuminated bulbs. So I'm going to read that story to you. Last evening, I walked over beyond Fifth Avenue and called at the residence of Edward H. Johnson, Vice President of Edison's Electric Company. There, at the rear of the beautiful parlor, was a large Christmas tree presenting a most picturesque and an uncanny aspect. It was brilliantly lighted with many colored globes about as large as an English walnut and was turning some 6 times a minute on a little pine box. There were 80 lights in all encased in those dainty glass eggs and about equally divided between white, red, and blue. As the tree turned, the colors alternated, all the lamps going out and being relit at every revolution. The result was a continuous twinkling of dancing colors, red, white, red, blue, all evening. I need not tell you that the scintillating evergreen was a pretty sight. One can hardly imagine anything prettier. The ceiling was crossed obliquely with 2 wires on which hung 28 more of the tiny lights, and all the lights in the fantastic tree itself, with its starry fruit, were kept going by the slight electric current brought from the main office on a filmy wire. The tree was kept revolving by a little hidden crank below the floor, which was turned by electricity. It was a superb exhibition. When I came across it, it made me chuckle because, like I said, we've had a rotating tree. We actually bought it at a Sears store as they were closing down here in Fairbanks. So in today's prices, it would have been roughly about $2,000 to illuminate the tree. Not something even back then everyone could afford. Not only was it cost prohibitive at the time, electricity was actually greatly mistrusted by the general population. So it was when President Grover Cleveland used indoor lighting and had the White House Christmas tree wires lighted in 1895, and that helped spark the acceptance of electric light bulbs. It was still very expensive to have your family Christmas tree lit with bulbs, and mainly reserved for the wealthy. Now that all changed in 1917 and blossomed into a revolution when 17-year-old Albert Sadaka and his brothers began producing strings of light that were affordable to everyone. Further embedding this tradition was the first lighting of the national Christmas tree by President Calvin Coolidge in 1923. So today we have so many varieties and quantities of lights. It's almost unfathomable to think that it was just over 100 years ago. Only the well-to-do and the affluent could light up their homes and trees. So I want you to enjoy your holiday traditions and Christmas. I ask you to please keep Christ in Christmas. And when you look at the next amazing light display, remember to thank Edison, Johnson, and Sedaka for making your holiday magic enlightening. And as Dr. Seuss and the Grinch say, maybe Christmas, the Grinch thought, doesn't come from a store. As always, love you. Hugs and prayers.